So, I come from a long line of pranksters, but I'm not really one myself, and it seems like pranks kind of, they tend to backfire on me. It's, you know, I start with the best intentions, and it kind of ends up like, oh, he's an asshole. Like, oh, that wasn't so good. Like the time I thought it'd be a good social experiment to refill the empty Jameson bottle with Old Crow and just see what would happen. Might have lost some friends on that one. Or the time that I was canoe guiding and I had a crew full of pranksters, a bunch of, you know, like 12, 13-year-olds that thought it was hilarious to put rocks in my boots, and then put rocks in my shoes, and then put rocks in my sleeping bag. So I decided to wait till like the very end of the trip to make sure that things wouldn't like escalate too far out of, you know, safety or whatever. So it's the last day, we're just heading back to base, and I decided to put a big rock in one of their packs, and we get to like the last portage. It's like a half-mile walk with heavy stuff. Try and go like give this pack to the ringleader, and this really small kid just like pops in. He's like, "Oh, I'll take that pack." It's like, "Are you sure that's Johnny's pack over there?" He's like, "No, I'll take that one." So I give it to him because I can't really let on to the fact that I put a rock about that big into that pack. And we get to the other side, and he's not there, so I go back to check on him. Yeah, he's just kind of, you know, moving along slowly. I'm like, "Hey, you need a hand?" He's like, No, it's cool, I'm good now. I just had to stop to get on my inhaler because I was about to have an asthma attack. So that's how pranks usually go for me. But I was lucky enough to have one good prank in my life. It was a bunch of years back. A roommate and I in college wake up one Sunday morning and realize that it's April Fool's Day. We're like, "Oh, it's April Fool's Day. There's no way we're going to study for all these exams and, you know, do all this homework that we need to do. Let's prank someone. We really got to prank someone." And Kyle's usually a pretty creative guy, so I was like, "Okay, we're in luck. You know, we can pull this off. Who are we going to prank? Let's prank Cheryl, you know, our other roommate and good friend." Like, okay, how are we going to prank Cheryl? Well, she loves going to concerts. Let's have a fake concert tonight. Yeah. So it sounded like a great idea. So, how do you throw a fake concert? Well, you got to start with, you know, I'd been doing a little like concert production on the side, so I knew that to have a concert you need flyers, you need publicity. So, you know, get on the computer, bust out the Photoshop, we're making up like fake concert flyer. We're like, "Oh, well, who's coming to town tonight?" He was like, "Well, she was about to drive to Chicago last weekend to see the Soweto Gospel Choir. So why don't we bring them to Urbana, Illinois tonight? Why not?" It's like, "Yeah, perfect, let's do it." So we make up just like perfect looking flyer. Looks so legit. You know, it said, you know, 7 o'clock tonight at the blah 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 auditorium. It's gonna be excellent. And we email it off to her. We're like, "Well, we went through all this effort, you know, it's already like 3 o'clock in the afternoon now, we've been working on like a few hours on this. Let's just send it to everyone else we know." So, we're publicizing this concert that's not actually going to happen. So a little while later, we've, you know, thoroughly publicized this thing. I was like, "Okay, cool, now what?" Because it's a prank, you know, back to this whole like prank ending like, "Oh, you're just an asshole" kind of thing. It's like, we've got to do something now. Kyle's like, "I thought we'd just like hide in the bushes and jump out and laugh at them when they all showed up and there wasn't a concert." It's like, "No, man, we got to do something better than that." So we sit around for a while and we think, and you know, of course, since we're procrastinating on homework, it's really easy to come up with like all sorts of crazy ideas. And yeah, we weren't actually going to bring the Soweto Gospel Choir down because, well, they were probably off somewhere else, and they probably, yeah, you know, that wouldn't be a prank anymore. That would just be hosting a concert. So we decided the next best thing would be to make a miniature concert. So we took a cardboard box and we printed out pictures of the group. They're from Africa. I've never actually heard them before. Sing gospel music. brightly colored clothing and all that. So we set them up in this box. And since most of my experience with concert production was from like the sound and lights side of things, I was like, well, there's got to be sound. So we put some little speakers in there, and we like download some of their music, put it on repeat, so it's playing. They're like, oh, got us some lights. So before we know it, we have this concert in a box. So by this point, it's getting to be about showtime. So we go to like put it in front of the auditorium. It's of course locked because it's a Sunday night and there's nothing actually going on there. And go hide in the bushes across the street with binoculars. So Cheryl, who this prank was originally intended for, didn't check her email that day. But JP, who worked for the newspaper and had a staff meeting that night, and convinced his boss that he should go photograph this concert instead of coming to the staff meeting that night. Told Cheryl about it, said, hey, Cheryl, Soweto Gospel Choir is coming to town tonight. We should totally go to the show. So Cal and I are sitting there waiting in the bushes with our binoculars, and we start seeing our friends show up, and we're like, this is hilarious. This is great. But we decided, any prank, it's got to be, just a little bit witty. So we put a sign next to it that said, thanks for coming to tonight's performance and supporting the arts. Unfortunately, due to budgetary constraints, this evening's production's been downsized. So we had about, maybe 10 folks show up, and then Kyle and I jump out of the bushes. We're like, "Hi, April Fools!" Isn't this funny? But somehow they just kind of made the concert happen anyhow. We thought we just laugh at them, and then they were singing and dancing, and JP's snapping photos. So I guess in the end, joke was kind of on us, but it was still a good time. So I guess as far as pranks go, I just need to plan them a little more and just super overachieve on them, because otherwise you might give someone an asthma attack. You gotta watch out.